Hey guys, Justin here from Simplified Investing. I hope you guys are all having a great weekend. As you can tell from the title of this video, this will be our weekly watch list. We will be breaking down the market as well and then going into the 5 plays that we see value in for the coming week. With that being said, the 5 plays that we are watching for this week, first one being MRNA, second one being GME, third one being Apple, fourth one being Microsoft, and then the fifth one being Google. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. If you are interested in our private team where we do offer our course alerts and more, feel free to check out SimplifiedInvesting.com today. Hope you guys enjoy and have a great week. Thanks. So getting started, for those of you who have watched our previous videos, the first thing we like to do is break down the market. What can we expect to see from the market within the coming week? For those of you who have been trading, you'll notice a lot of times the equities that you are watching will be following the market very closely. So getting an understanding of where the market is at and key levels on the market can help you have that upper hand advantage when you are trading. So that being said, the proxy that I personally use typically for a market is going to be SPY, S&P 500 index. So let's pull this up here. Do a top-down analysis going out from a longer time frame on the daily chart into the weekly, or the weekly chart into the daily, and then down obviously into the 5-day 5-minute, 5-day 15-minute, and so forth. So with that being said, we did push to all-time highs here last week at that 437.92 region. We did experience a lot of selling pressure in this 436 zone, pushing all the way down here towards this 430 support region. That will be the key level here in the coming week. I'll draw this level, this zone, as a visualization for you guys. This 430 support region going to be a key level. Again, touching that on 7.6 and holding here. We're basically getting these higher highs here. What's been happening a lot lately is we'll get an overnight gap up, so we'll open higher than the close before, and then we'll continue into lower lows throughout the day with a lot of weakness here. So something to note, have been getting a lot of overnight movement onto open, but then lower lows and a lot of consolidation here intraday. So I would like a better trend, better setups for those day trades. Again, it's very hard to do in day trade when you do get such narrow range movement. So watching this 430 support region here, looking for this to hold here on the daily chart, and then watching that 436 resistance zone. Again, a very tough level for the S&P 500 to break. Will be a zone to watch here for a breakout to the upside, and then above that at 438. Again, anytime you are pushing to all-time highs, you do have to resort to intraday levels, but that 430 support very strong and 436 resistance. Looking to be channel bound here, trading sideways since 7.2, not really seeing much. We get these gaps up or we get these gap downs, but a lot of weakness here lately with gap up opens into lower lows throughout the day and finishing a lot lower on the day. Especially here on Friday, 436 rejection. That will be key for upside here and continued highs on SPY, with that 430 support below being very, very strong to watch here on the daily chart. As for the 5 plays of the week, first one being one that we've been playing quite a bit, Moderna. The reason for this one gapping up 10% here on Friday, going to be included in the S&P 500 index, breaking out of this sideways consolidation from 1130 all the way to here on 6.2. Essentially a 7-month consolidation base. Priming up for this run here, continued higher highs. Again, we are at all-time highs, so we do have to resort to intraday levels here. So what I mean by that is you have to narrow down the time frame, as this is uncharted territory. As for the daily, huge gap up here over 280. I do think this has potential here this week to hit 300 on this strength with being included into the S&P 500 index. Reason for this, massive volume. Again, you can see we're traded almost 42 million shares here on Friday versus the normal range of 10 million. So trading about 4.2 times the normal average of volume. So that is the first checklist that we want to see, is we want to trade things with abnormal volume. MRNA fitting that to a T right here. Also a great trend move to the upside. As for going in and narrowing this down to the 5-day 5-minute, again, you can see we got a lot of sellers at this 287.50 region. Push up here, failed at this 9 o'clock 5-minute, failed here on that breakout, also failed breakout here, into basically a sideways consolidation here. So what I would like to see is a breakout over 287.50 here on Monday for a continued upside move here. Again, after hours hitting all-time highs here again at 289, but such strong volume here. Volume will confirm this if we can get that 287.50 breakout here. Again, potential for 300 on this. Liking this with that continuation strength into the coming week. Looking very strong here on MRNA. If we do go back out to the weekly chart, you can see how strong of a week here that we did have. I am expecting this to continue. One thing to note is we do have earnings on 8/5. So that's about 2-3 weeks out. Nothing to really worry about as for premiums that are trading weeklies. But looking very strong here on Moderna. I do very well think we can see 300 here on this one in the coming week. Second one, not one that's a huge breakout on volume, but one that is touching a very strong support region here at this 162.70 region and below that at 150. Again, you can see all these buyers coming in and holding this on the weekly chart here. Again, we have 5 weeks of holding this strong level here after multiple breakdown attempts, but buyers continuously holding up GME here. Main reason for this one. Now, we do have to wait for confirmation on GME, but liking how many buyers are in this general relative zone, a strong demand zone in here, basically from 135 all the way up to 150. A lot of bids, a lot of buyers in that area, so it is a good risk to reward ratio on that setup here with that bid in that demand area down here. Now, as for what I'd be watching for a play, I would want to see a breakout over 206.94. Obviously, quite a ways from there, but liking the buyers in this region. If we can get a breakout over that, could very well see 250 on this. Let's go to the daily chart, get a better time frame view. Again, obvious lower lows here off of this gap up on 6.8, continued lower lows, but holding this support here at 162.77, very strong. Liking the hold of this. I want to, again, see a breakout over this 200 region, 206.94 to be exact. Break down or break out of this downtrend move, continued upside move with potential to see 250 if we can get a breakout here on this. Biggest thing is not chasing this without confirmation and waiting for that ideal setup so we can play GME to the upside here with potential to see 250 on this if we can get that 207 volume confirming that breakout. Third play, one that has obviously been strong lately. Anytime you have a NASDAQ pushing all-time highs, Apple heavily weighted within the NASDAQ and also the S&P 500, you can expect Apple to follow in suit with that. Pushing to all-time highs here, getting rejected at 150. One that we have been trading quite a bit lately is Apple. Strong trend move, great upside move. However, we do have to note that there is going to be earnings on this one on, let's see what day it's 7/27. So not this week. It shouldn't really affect the weekly premiums, but next week if you are trading next week's options, take that into consideration, will be more expensive with earnings. Now, the key on this one is going to be a 150 breakout. You can see that we did get rejected here on 7/15 at this region. I was watching this one intraday too here as well. Massive sell wall at 150. So if we can get a breakout over 150, expecting those bids to push that higher here, taking out that sell wall will be key here on Apple. But again, beautiful trend move off of the lows here on 6.4. Basically a month of higher highs. Continued push up to 150. Now we wait for that 150 breakout here for an upside here, 155 to 160 potential if we can get a breakout. Strong support down here below at 144. If we do touch this region, expecting a bounce at that 144 support. Key here is a breakout either of the upside over 150 resistance or a breakdown of 144 support. Essentially going to be channel bound here until we do get a breakout. I personally will be taking this if we can get a 150 breakout with strength. Intraday here on whatever day it does break out will be one that I'm going to be watching very closely. Now the fourth one, similar play, similar setup. Microsoft, same, basically essentially the same movement here. We're getting these higher highs here off of those lows into basically a consolidation here between 283 and then that 280 support. Strong buyers here at that 280 level. Again, you can tell we rejected here, broke out of that resistance, becoming a new support here on 715 and also here on 716. Intraday on Friday, a lot of buyers coming in at 280. Huge bids, huge buy wall coming in at that level, providing us a good setup here with that 280 support here. Now what I want to see for a breakout here is a breakout over that 280-250 region for a continued upside with that 284.10 all-time high. Another one that does have earnings, not this week, but next week. But looking very strong here on Microsoft. Continued higher high move here. Does have potential for 290 plus if we can get that volume continuation and we can get a confirmation of that breakout over that 280-250 region here, with then the next resistance zone being above at 284.10 and then above that resorting to intraday levels as these are uncharted territories. But Microsoft looking very strong here, just waiting on that confirmation with those 280 buyers providing a very strong support below on this intraday. The last one, similar setup as well. Google. Another continued higher high mover here. We basically get this gap up here off of earnings into a month of consolidation into higher highs here. Now we're pushing up. 2,600 bids on this, going to be very strong. Again, resistance zone into a support, then we break down into a new resistance, breaking that. So watching 2,600 buyers here, providing a better risk to reward setup, or a breakout here over 2,650. Breakout over 2,650, will be eyeing calls on this to the upside, with 2,659 being the region above, the price target above. And then watching 2,600 bids, if we can hold up on the daily chart on the 2,600 bids, providing us a really good risk to reward ratio with so many buyers, again, at this level. But great higher high trend move. Another one that does have earnings on 7/27. Lots of earnings next week. Something to note if you're not trading weeklies. Lots of inflated premiums on next week's contracts, simply due to the nature of earnings and the volatility that you can expect. But again, watching 2,650 breakout here on Google, looking very strong within the coming week. That being said, that wraps up our watch list for the week. If you did enjoy this video, if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe, would be greatly appreciated. If you are interested in joining our private team, feel free to check out simplified-investing.com today. We would love to have you guys on board. Hope you guys all have a green week and a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy.